All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Chakwadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, salutations to the hopeful elect that's fighting a good fight of faith and truth, in sincerity and wholeheartedly. Shalom to the Akwath, which is the women believer. Shalom to you. All praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Edom is being cornered. You know, they have to get proud. They have to be proud of all the atrocities that they have done. And the only thing they have left is to be proud and to bring the sword. Because that's what he always do when he's being cornered. When he don't get his way, he resort to the sword. Now, I made a video a few months ago about basically Elon Musk, the Department of Homeland Security. They was all making quotes about like making America white again, and basically Elon Musk made a tweet basically saying like the white people are oppressed. So like now they are trying to become a victim. So I want to start off with this first, because this is all that happened and happening. So it says, you are filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, let your foreskin be uncovered. The cup of Yahweh's right hand shall be turned unto thee. Shall be, which means it's on its way. And shameful spewing should be on your glory. So yeah, so now your foreskin have been uncovered. You have been exposed as the devil that you are. You know, now you got regular people know who an Edomite is and who Esau is. At one point in time, nobody knew who those names was. So yeah, but let's get into it.
Over.
So what do they think is coming next? It dies and what takes its place?
Well, I think it's turning point. And I have to say, I think some of the things that some of the younger people that I talked to were a little bit scary, because they were saying things that sounded a lot like white nationalism. It sounded racist, to be honest.
What did they say?
Well, they were saying basically that the United States was founded by Europeans, and that is the identity of the United States. And it was a mission from God to conquer a land, and the United States was conquered by Europeans, and now that they're blessed, the United States is blessed.
Well, it's actually the total opposite, but this is the way that they think. Now, if you want to be technical, everything that they did, you know, the Lord allowed, don't mean that they're blessed, but they had to fulfill their role in the Lord's movie. So it said, whose possessor slay them, hold himself not guilty. So the talking points of Edomites is that, you know, when it comes down to slavery, when you really listen to them, they speak very proudly. So real quick, we're going to finish that scripture, but I got to get this one. It said they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak lawfully. Like that little soliloquy that he just went on. All right. Guess what? It was very proud. It was condescending. Basically saying that, oh, basically, yeah, we took the land and we're blessed for it. And America is ours and get over it. So that's how they speak. They speak like you was meant to be a slave and we are over you. Now, also another one that just popped in my mind. I think it's 10. Yep. So there is an evil which I've seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place. That's us. That's why I say the rich. Why would the rich sit in a low place? You got to know what it's talking about. I have seen servants upon horses, Esau, Edom. So going back to before cars, okay, the car was the horse, all right? And it says, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. Every time I read this scripture, I think about that devil who's nicknamed the Indian Killer, Andrew Jackson. He was on a horse, and you had a Judite. if I'm not mistaken, to his right side, and a so-called Native American Indian, which is Gad, on his left side. All right. And they was in chains. So now, whose possessor slay them hold himself not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahweh. Everything he just said.
A lot. It sounded racist, to be honest.
What did they say?
Well, they were saying basically that the United States was founded by Europeans, and that is the identity of the United States. And it was a mission from God to conquer a land, and the United
Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pitied them not. So yeah, so they was able to basically buy our people, the Christian pastor that's our people, and lead them into the fire even more. The leaders of our people today, I'm talking about who the world deem as leaders. So the ones who have a voice lead us farther and farther away from the Lord. The ones who our people would look up to lead us farther and farther away from the Lord. So they see that. They able to understand that, we can pay them off. They actually used, Christian pastors in the time of that demon, Margaret Sanger, when it came to eugenics, and that's where Planned Parenthood came from. Planned Parenthood, I mean. So, yeah. And he was getting, the pastors to get them to be okay with offing their child. So, yeah, they always do that.
States was conquered by Europeans, and now that they're blessed. The United States is blessed by God because of conquering the people that lived here before. And it was more about...
And this devil, he's smug. He got a little smug look on his face. He's smirking under everything that he's saying because he believed the same damn thing. Okay? And this is why the Lord said this. You shed a lot of blood on this land. Woe to the bloody city, it is all full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. That's talking about us. But the first word of this scripture is woe. That means destruction. And also, let's bring out a classic. So you shall not pollute the land where you are, for blood defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. That's what you call reap what you sow. And also, we still found in your hand, right? And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he should surely be put to death. So yeah, that's the only thing that's coming for you. But see, the reason that these talking points is coming, number one, we're at the end. He coming down with great wrath because he had but a short time. That's what Jacob's trouble gonna come in. But finally, he like, fuck it. We can't escape it. So we just got to be proud with it. And then that proud is going to eventually, he's going to bring the sword. So, sorry, I got a text message that threw me off. But yeah, so, and what's really happening is right here. The inheritance of sinners' children shall perish, and their posterity shall have a perpetual reproach. All right. So they keep on being reproached for all the things that they have done. The children, which is the people that's walking the earth right now, the children will complain of an ungodly father because they shall be reproached for his sake. So that's what it comes down to. So now they say, fuck it. We just got to be proud about it. Got to try to justify it. And the next thing that's going to come is a sword. So we make these videos to warn you. Also, the scripture says, never trust thy enemy. Ecclesiasticus 12:10. But our people still don't know who their enemy is. When these devils smile at you, and as the scripture says, his words were smoother than butter, but his war in his heart, Psalms 55:21. That's literally how they live. But you actually take the smooth words and take it to heart and really believe that these devils like you. I don't give a damn if it's at your job. All right. Obviously, they're not going to just be a total, dick to you at your job, especially if you are a decent worker. They're going to smile. They're going to pat you on the back and all that stuff. But they still the devil. All right. Wisdom is knowing who your enemy is and knowing how to dwell. Okay. Even Apostle Paul said, I become all things to all men. You got to know how to be able to maneuver in this society. The scripture says we be as harmless as doves because we are sent in the midst of wolves. All right. We are sheep sent in the midst of wolves. All right. Be therefore harmless as doves and wise as a serpent. All right. So being wise is knowing how to, use wisdom at all time and knowing how to dwell in situations. You don't have to walk around. Oh, I hate Edomites. Ah, damn devil. Talk about like if you do that, you ain't gonna have no livelihood. Because right now we in his kingdom and this is our punishment. But the Lord is the one who ultimately blesses us. But as the curses said, we have to go to him for one of all things. So you have to be mindful. So
religion and more about Christianity and that identity. And that included things like teaching the Bible in school and teaching it literally, like Noah's flood actually happened. All these things actually happened. So it was very different from the people we talked to before who were like, Trump is number one.
And guess who's CPAC? That's who he's talking about. He's talking about the CPAC, all right, which is the Conservative Political Action Conference. And when you look up CPAC today, it's MAGA. So they are, at one point in time, they used to come together, in the meeting of the minds, all of that stuff, have speeches and all that. But now it's straight MAGA. So these are straight Trump supporters, and this is their ideology. This is how, they think. This is how they feel. So all these things is coming out. As the scripture said, we have made Esau bare. He cannot hide himself. So since he can't hide himself, he's going to use the sword. But let's get into his destruction, though. Good news. Good news. He's at the end. Prepare slaughter for his children, because those are the same people that's talking. That's his children, which is they, because you come back through your children. All right. That's in Exodus 20 and 5 or 6, Numbers 14 and 18, Jeremiah 32 and 18. All right. I think it's another one, too. I think it's in Ezekiel. But it said, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise. See, it said for the iniquity of their fathers. Now, when you go to Deuteronomy 24 and 16, it said that the father should not be paid. I mean, the children should not be paid for the father's sins, and the father's sins should not be repaid to the children. So the Lord don't do that. All right. So it says, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise, nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. For I will rise up against them, saith Yahweh of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, the son, and the nephew, saith Yahweh Bashim Shai. I will also make it a possession for the bittern, and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith Yahweh Bashim Shai of hosts. So yeah, it's looking real bad for you. Now, like I always say, Jacob's trouble is the last time that you would be able to touch us. But after that, that's your ass. All right. And the Wadi Yahweh Bashim Shai that he said at that time, because that same scripture that we always quote, right? What do it say at the end of that scripture? Alas, alas, for that day is great, so that is none like it. Is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Okay? That's the elect. That's the ones who trust in Yahweh Bashim Shai.
This was it seems like it's moving in a different direction that is not Trump. And to me, I find that worrying. But I've heard this from people from talking to
not Trump. That's the sentiments of Trump. All right? He might profess himself to be a Christian, but a lot of people, I'm telling you, people just got amnesia. when Trump was president the first time, he was actually known as a racist, and he was blatant with it. So many tweets, so many things he said out loud. And then our people go vote for him again 8 years later. Bugged out. But anyways.
People who have children who are in their 20s or in college, they'll say, "Oh, my son is watching Nick Fuentes all the time," and it's like.
So I'm gonna end it on this. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. The point is 20. It said, for a 1 hour so great riches come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the company and the ships and sailors, as many as trade by sea, stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoking of her burning, saying, what city is unto like this great city? Just talk about America. We know why it's going to be destroyed. Number one, you touch the apple of the Lord's eye. All right. And you are the wicked. And the Lord's about to make an example out of you. It's like he did with Sodom and Gomorrah. He called this place Sodom and Gomorrah Part 2. All right. So this you shed a lot of blood on this land and Israelites. It says, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping, saying, alas, alas, that great city which were made rich, all that had ships in the sea, by the reason of her costliness, for in 1 hour she is made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for the Most High have avenged you on her. Okay, so that's what it's all about, baby. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. So yeah, Esau, Edom is being cornered. So this is his he's proud with it. This is his talking points. And like I said, next is the sword, but we don't have to worry. We continue to stay trusting in Yahweh Ba'Shem Al-Bashai. All you people who's playing games, seek ye out the Lord while he may be found. And Shalom.